Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated show on MTV that is ready for the hurricane. That's right, we're talking about The Challenge Season 36 Double Agents Episode 18 Part 1 of the finals. But before we can get into the finals, let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Fessy being the house vote going into the elimination against Kyle in the 4th hall brawl of the season. Kyle getting medically DQ'd, Fessy stole Casey, Leroy chose Nany, and CT and Amber were paired up together. And that's when TJ announces that it is time for the finals. And back at the challenge house, that's where everyone is excited. They are celebrating, they are popping champagne, they're having a good time. And this is where we get some reflection over everyone individually, but also get an idea of how they feel about being in their partnerships. We have Cam and Corey feeling really good about their partnership. They have a lot of heart, and that's what they want to do. They wanted to run the finals together. Then we move over to Fessy and Casey, who are like, thinking that they are already in the top spot, that this is their finals to lose. And I always think that, hey, confidence is key, but also don't underestimate the rest of your competition. Then we move on to CT and Amber, and they're talking, and they're trying to get some chemistry working between them as they had not worked together all season. And that's when CT is basically telling Amber, hey, look, you just run, I'll take care of everything else. I'll take care of the puzzles, I'll take care of the eating, just keep up with me or I'll try to keep up with you, and let's go out and win this thing. And then we move over to Leroy and Nany, and Leroy just seems super happy. On his reflection, he's talking about how not only is he excited that he made it to the finals, but he's also excited that Cam's here, and then he gets to run the finals with Nany, one of his best friends that he's known for like 10 years, someone that he's started his MTV career with. It's almost like it's coming full circle as this is his final season. So he is just feeling excited. He talks about how no matter what happens, he is just overjoyed. The party starts winding down, and then the next morning, that's when the green lights are going off and the final has been activated. Everybody is gearing up. They're packing up their bags. They're looking outside, and there is a black SUV ready for them to get inside and take them a long, long way to TJ, who is just standing out in the middle of a field, ready to explain what's gonna happen, at least in this day one of the finals. TJ decides to start everything off by saying that there is going to be a purge. Whoever comes in 4th place will be purged on day 1, won't even make it to day 2. So the mission of day 1 is just to survive and do the very best you can to not come in last place. And then he gives a breakdown of the money and the placing. So in 4th place, you don't even make it to day 2. 3rd place, you make it to day 2, but you get $0. 2nd place, you get $100,000, and 1st place gets $900,000. So everyone is gearing up, getting excited. Leroy gets a little bit emotional before they all go up and line up, and that's when TJ is telling them that this first part to get to checkpoint 1 is a 3-mile run. Now, these 3 miles are going to be treacherous as they're not only battling each other and their competition, but they're battling the terrain. They're battling the elements. Now, the terrain is tough as they're going uphill, downhill. It's super rocky, it's super gravelly. There are some minor trips and falls in the beginning of this 3-mile run, and then we move on to that there's like a hurricane happening, or they're at the tail end of this hurricane. There's something going on with this hurricane. So there are like gusts of wind that they are having to battle. They have this resistance on them as they're trying to go up and down. The rocks are moving. It's crazy what's going on. Like, the elements definitely play a factor in this final. Everyone is lined up. TJ blows that horn and everybody is off. At the beginning of the 1st mile, we have Leroy, Fessy, and Corey up at the front. Everyone else is grouped up in the middle, and then Nany is lagging behind. Leroy early on decides he is going to lag back with Nany, go at her pace. He doesn't want to push her too hard because he knows that this final is going to be long. Finals are always long, so there's no need to push too hard at the beginning because there's always going to be checkpoints that where you can make up some time. Whereas on the other side, Fessy is taking the opposite approach. He is constantly hounding Casey to go faster, faster, faster. Hurry up, pick it up. And then one point in the confessional, he's like, oh, I look back and Casey was basically in last place. when he said that in the confessional, and then what they played in the clip is that she was just behind Corey, who was like right behind Fessy. I don't know what he's talking about, but he's just pushing Casey over and over again. Then we move into mile 3 of this 3-mile run, and at the start of it, that's when CT and Amber overtake Fessy and Casey and actually finish up to hit checkpoint 1 first. So they cross the finish line to checkpoint 1 first, then it's Fessy and Casey, then it's Cam and Corey, and then Leroy and Nany in 4th place. And when they hit checkpoint 1, things look oddly familiar, as this is the first daily challenge to the whole challenge season. This is Mission Decryption, except on a smaller level. Instead of like 15 people inside the round, it's only going to be 4 at a time. So the men are going to go first, then it's going to be the women. And if you don't remember what Mission Decryption is that there is a capsule with a color code at the top of this mountain. You're going to have to run up, grab the capsule, start memorizing the code, plug in the corresponding wires, and then once you get it, boom, you win. The men line up first, and this is way more competitive than it was at the beginning of the season. People were lagging back. They didn't want to show their hands too early, but this time nobody's lagging back. They are all jumping up on that mountain. They are wrestling this capsule away from each other. CT and Fessy reminded me of like Shaq and Dwight Howard in the paint. CT had the capsule. He was boxing out Fessy, and then Fessy just like yoinks it away from him, and that's when CT just tackles Fessy into the mound. It was awesome. It was so competitive. When it comes down to it, CT wins checkpoint 1 on the men's side, but now it's time for the women to go. And so the women are going. It is as competitive, if not more, than the men's side, as they are doing their thing. And that's when Casey is looking at the capsule at one point, and then Amber comes over and rips it away, starts running away with it. Casey grabs Amber, and then they're wrestling a little bit, but then Cam comes over and just bowls them both into the mound. It is awesome. Casey is plugging in her wires. She asked for a check first, but she is wrong. And then Amber asks for a check, and she is right. That's right, CT and Amber both win their heats. However, whoever has the best overall time will get the advantage. And that's when everyone is lined up and TJ announces that the results are that out of Amber and CT, Amber has the best and fastest overall time, and that she can change up her partner to whoever she wants. And so this is big. Everybody's looking around. They're worried that Amber is going to choose them. But that's when Amber looks over at CT and is like, hey, you still cool to run with me? And CT is like, yeah, I'm definitely cool to run with you. You just won the first leg into checkpoint 1. You both just won checkpoint 1 in your respective heats. If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's when Amber's like, I'm gonna stay with CT. So everybody stays with each other heading into leg 2, which is everyone having to run 2 miles down the coastline, retrieve their key, come back, bring it back, and then unlock a box and start on checkpoint 2. They get to leave in the order that they came into checkpoint 1, so Amber and CT get a little bit of a head start, then it's Fessy and Casey, then it's Cam and Corey, and then Leroy and Nany going off in 4th place. Early on in the run, Fessy and Casey catch up to Amber and CT, and that's when Fessy is just like blazing through this, and then he keeps on looking back at Casey going like, hurry up, sprint, sprint, come on, pick it up. And so Fessy is the first one to retrieve his key after the 2-mile run. Amber gets her key, then it's Corey, and then it's Leroy. Everyone's turning around, running back, and that's when Fessy is looking back going like, hurry up, Casey, sprint it out, let's hurry it up. And that's when Casey loses track of where her footing is, she slips, and then she hears her knee pop. She is down on the ground, writhing, as teams are like scooting past her. They're like doing the Allen Iverson over Tyronn Lue in the finals, where they're like, whoops, sorry, just step over you. They have a medic looking at Casey. She is on the ground writhing in pain. Fessy is talking about in the confessionals, he doesn't know what to feel. He doesn't feel sad. He just feels like he's in limbo right now. But he has like this resting face of disappointment as he's just sitting on the rocks, looking at all the teams just passing them, as the medic is looking at Casey's leg, wrapping it up, and then she is hobbling her way over to the next checkpoint. CT and Amber are the first ones to checkpoint 2. Then it's Corey and Cam right behind them, hot on their heels. And then Leroy and Nany show up a little bit late, but they open up their chests to find out there are some disgusting, disgusting foods. There's some sheep face, liter of blood, ram's testicles, a heart is in there. They have to eat all this stuff. They each have their own plates, and they're just chugging this thing down. I had a hit of nostalgia from watching this eating challenge from CT, especially because of Battle of the X's final, where he is just downing that like horn of blood and then eating Bambi's head at one point. So this was a gnarly eating, but everyone's giving it their all. Nani is having a tough time. Cam and Corey are having a tough time. So is Amber, but CT is just eating this thing. I loved his confessional where he's like, Bloody Mary's 2 for 1 over here. He wants another one. That was really funny. As they are eating and going through this, finally Fessy and Casey are making their way up to their box, and everyone is looking like, oh my gosh, they are in a tough situation here. But they get to their box, they open it up, and Fessy, that look of like panic and anxiety when Fessy opens up that box and sees all the disgusting food, for him to be like, why would I even try this? I'm pretty much out of this. I could eat all this disgusting food and get DQ'd because of Casey's injury, or I don't eat it and we get DQ'd because I won't eat any of it. Casey is over here injured. She could have easily just been like thrown in the towel, given up, but she is over there eating and drinking all this stuff as fast as she can, trying to make up some time. And now she's getting frustrated with her partner because he won't even try. He won't even put anything in his mouth. Taste the blood. We see Amber over there with blood all over her mouth, and Fessy's just sitting there going like, what's the point? So at the end of this, CT and Amber win checkpoint 2. They win a sabotage where they can give another team extra stuff to eat as a quote unquote dessert. And CT and Amber are looking around trying to figure out what they're gonna do. Corey and Cam are right behind them, so would they give it to them? They're looking at Leroy and Nani, as they seem to not have a lot on their plate left, but everybody else is like, hey, give it to Fessy and Casey. And that's when Fessy and Casey are like, we can't even walk, don't give it to us. We end this episode with them just standing around, figuring out what team they're going to give it to. I really feel like they're going to give it to Cam and Corey because they were right behind CT and Amber heading into this checkpoint 2. But we're going to have to wait to see what's going to happen next week. Now I'm going to go more into my own thoughts and opinions about part 1 of the finals in my Friday's Tiny Table Talk, but just off the top of my head, I'm actually enjoying these finals so far. I thought we were gonna see a lot more than just 2 checkpoints coming into this episode, but I'm really enjoying the first 2 checkpoints. CT and Amber are putting on a clinic. Before Casey got injured, I was actually really nervous for Leroy and Nani. They were consistently in last place. If it's gonna come down to time, they've been consistently having the slowest time. So before Casey got injured, I was really worried that they weren't even gonna make it into day 2, but looking at Casey's injury, first of all, you hate to see anybody get injured in the finals. It sucks to see somebody's season go from so much potential to possibly medically DQ'd from the finals. I don't know how she's going to be able to bounce back, even if she's medically cleared to keep on racing. I just don't see them putting up a good enough time to make it even further, let alone, I don't even think Fessy's going to even put anything in his mouth or try at all with this eating challenge. So to me, this could be like a fresh meat 2 where Brandon was the reason why him and Caitlyn got DQ'd from going into the exile rather than Caitlyn's injury. But like I said, I'm gonna get more in depth with my discussion and my opinions about overall these finals and specifically going into Fessy's attitude going into this eating challenge. But yeah, I thought this was a good start to the finals. It's pretty evenly matched between everybody. Everybody's sticking rather close with each other. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen. This sabotage, like CT said in the show, could be a $900,000 decision because this could be a really close race and this sabotage could be the deciding factor when we come down to the times. But we're gonna have to wait and see what's gonna happen for the rest of the finals in next week, as we are gonna see part 2 and the ultimate finale of the challenge season 36 double agents. Who do you think CT and Amber are gonna give the sabotage to? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about part 1 of the finals? What do you think about Fessy's attitude where he's just sitting there going like, I'm not gonna eat this stuff? Let me know anything and everything you feel about part 1 of the finals down in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 36 Double Agent content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.